Greetings, oboe players. My name is Margaret Herlehy, and I am the instructor of oboe at the University of New Hampshire. I also adjudicate Massachusetts districts, auditions, and all-state festivals throughout the Northeast. So I am here today to share some practice tips to help you prepare your audition for your upcoming New Hampshire all-state audition in the fall. First and foremost, reads. Yes, make sure you have working reeds. There are many great reed suppliers, or talk to your teacher. You want to always practice on a good reed, and when the festival comes up, you should have 3 reeds that you can play your piece on. Make sure your oboe is in good working order, and then you are ready to go and dive in. I'm going to start off by playing you my interpretation of the big piece that you have from the selected studies. This is in G minor, and this is at my tempo, what's comfortable for me. Now, that's an allegro, which says it should be allegro, and that's what's comfortable for me. It doesn't necessarily have to be your tempo. Choosing a tempo in this piece is really important. You have to have a tempo that not only does the first phrase, which doesn't quite have the same technical challenges as what we are going to see later on, works for you, but you really have to review the piece and say, what tempo is going to work for me, and how am I going to keep that in the spirit of an allegro? Well, you've got some really nice directions here. Accent on the first note, staccato afterwards. This will keep it in the spirit of an allegro. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play it at a slower tempo. I slowed this down to about half the tempo. Now I'm going to jump to the middle of the piece where those difficult arpeggios are, and I'm going to check in. Can I play them at that same tempo? We'll see. Well, there you go. I'm good. So I would say that is my goal tempo. Check in on the metronome, start practicing the entire piece at that tempo. Certain sections will feel slower, but that's the way it has to be done. Now, to work up to that point, again, I'm going to emphasize always patient, slow, mindful practice when you're working through technique. So I probably would start this piece at the 8th note equals 60, very, very slow, and play through the entire piece at that tempo. Well, it's a long piece. You may have to do it in sections, but it's very important to keep the metronome going as you work through this. I'm going to give you a quick example and turn my metronome on. Actually, this is quite a bit faster. I'm going to try it at 96 to the 8th note, but it could be 60, it could be 54, doesn't make a difference, but stick with it. 5, 6. And so on and so forth. So I'm keeping the character of the allegro in a much slower tempo. This is going to help when I'm speeding it up to the tempo that I plan on playing the audition. There is nothing like mindful, patient preparation to develop confidence in your technique and in your performance. Confidence is so important when you go into an audition. If there's a question mark over, can I play this part of the piece, it's going to really take over, and you'll be thinking more about that than how well you can play the rest of the piece. That's why I emphasize with my students that we practice from beginning to end at the same slow tempo. You can then see where the technical challenges are, take that out of context, work through those technical challenges, and then bring it back in at that same slow, steady tempo. Now I'm going to give you a quick tip for working through some of those arpeggios, which are very, very difficult. These go up to very, very high notes, extreme upper register. Please feel free to contact me at Margaret Herlehy at the University of New Hampshire website in the music department if you do not have a teacher or access to the high note fingerings. I'd be happy to share them with you. When working through things like that, I would isolate the section that is difficult. For these purposes, I'm going to take the last two arpeggios, the one that goes to the high D and then to the high F and jumps all the way down to the low C. And I will take it very slowly, steady, slow. I want to make sure I can do that cleanly and comfortably before I go any further, any faster. And that worked out pretty well for me, but I'm still not 100% confident. Couple of things you can do. Change the rhythms of what you're playing. I'm going to change that rhythm from steady 16ths to a dotted 16th followed by a 32nd, or if you were doubling that, a dotted 8th followed by a 16th. And now I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to change it to the 16th to the dotted 8th. Always going down and finishing on that low C, which is so difficult. Changing rhythms when you're practicing technical passages really helps you because it gives you time to think, stressing one note a little bit longer, stretching it a little bit longer, and then it moves very quickly between the other two notes. When you reverse the pattern, now you've covered all the notes. Another idea at 6/8 time is changing them into triplets rather than playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and we're going to play triplet, 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 triplet in this case. I would do that over and over again until I developed confidence getting up to the high F and cleanly could get down to that low C. Address these problems, don't wait, because address them right away, these passages. I won't call them problems, but these passages, because it will help. The more that you do this, the more that you incorporate it into your daily routine, it will really help you when you are auditioning to have the confidence in the most difficult passages. Okay, other things. Intonation, very, very important. The scales that you are assigned and all of your major and minor scales are very important to practice to develop intonation. They're great for fingering, tone quality, all of the things necessary to play a good audition. I will say that one of the most important things is that you do have confidence in your tone quality. As I said before, a good read is really going to help you with that. It builds the confidence that you need. And a confident player, a confident, prepared player is what an adjudicator is looking for. You don't have to play the fastest, loudest, or the softest, but have confidence in what you have prepared and be ready to bring all of that good stuff into your audition. I wish you all the best and congratulations for making this step towards auditioning for all stages.